So in the panel builder, we can configure security groups and users, and we can configure the different objects so that it's just certain types of users that can access them. We will also add a special kind of tag called a system tag that will show which user that is logged in. And then the final part of this demonstration is that we will add an audit trail so that we can track the changes made by the different operators of this application. And in the software, we need to click on security. And in the security, I will start by jumping to or selecting the Groups tab. By default, you have administrators and operators. These can be changed if you want to, but I will leave them right now. And I will click on Add to add a third group called Service. I click on Users, and I will add 2 additional users. The first one is named Patrick with password P, and I will be an operator. The second user, or third user actually, will be Rickard with password R, and he will be a service engineer. By clicking on the settings button, I can decide what should happen when you click on an object that you don't have access to. In this case, I select an access denied message should be displayed. I also select that if the operator is inactive for more than 1 minute, he or she will be automatically logged out. So now the security is actually configured and finalized. Now we just need to tell the configure the different objects and tell them which user groups that should be allowed to access them. So for the first valve, I will select that it's just operators that are allowed to access that object. And for the second one, I will select that it's just the service technicians, engineers that is allowed. Finally, I would also like to display which user that is currently logged in. So I will do that by clicking on my tags. And as I mentioned, we need to add a special kind of tag called a system tag. So I click on the cursor, select Add System Tag, navigate a little bit down and select Current User. The current user is a string tag that will present who is logged in. And we will add this in our background screen so that we just need to add it one time. To present this, I select the text object, place it in the screen to the right of the user icon, change the font color to white, and then finally select which tag that should be displayed in this case, system tag current user. So we simulate the application again. When I click on the valves, I get the access denied message, as you remember that we configured. I click on the button to log in. I log in as Patrick with password P. And then I'm allowed to access this valve. But the second one, I'm not allowed to access. I need to log in as a service technician. So I log in as Rickard with the password of R. And as you can see, the username is updated automatically. And now I can change this one. As soon as I log out, the text is updated, it's now empty, no one is logged in, and I don't have access to the object anymore. Okay, The final part of this presentation or this demonstration is to add audit trail. So now we want to keep track of what these operators are doing. What process parameters are they changing and at what timestamp and so on. In order to do this, we need to add the audit trail function. So I select insert, audit trail, and I then need to define or decide which actions that I would like to log to the audit trail. By clicking on the log all and log none, I can select all or none of them. I select log none, and I will navigate a little bit down, scroll down, and select. I will select the show screen action. That's what I would like to log. But we also would like to keep track of these valve tags. So I open my tags, click on the others button, and to the far right, you see that I have log to audit trail. So enable that for those two tags. If we want to create a little bit easier to read descriptions for these audit trail tags, I can click on this dot button and add text that when the value is 0, the valve is closed, and when the value is 1, the valve is opened. Now press OK like this. In order to visualize this audit trail database, I will need to add an object called audit trail viewer. It's very similar to the alarm viewer that we used just a few minutes ago. So I select the audit trail viewer, place it in a screen, and now I will simulate the application yet again. So I start by logging in as Patrick. I change the value of valve 2. I log in as Richard. Change the value of the other valve. And then finally, when we jump to the audit trail screen, we can now see that valve 1 and valve 2, these messages, they are system generated. So valve 1 has been changed from false to true and true to false. You can also see at a timestamp when this happened and which user that was logged in when these changes were made. For valve 2, we added this audit trail description, so then we can read in clear text what happened. Valve was closed and valve was opened. True to false, false to true, timestamp, and at that time it was Patrick that was logged in. So in a very short time, a few minutes, we have added security, configured which objects that should be restricted. We have added an audit trail so that we can keep track of the different changes to process values. And with that, I